Syncing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, my name is Jeremiah Mail, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be playing some Farming Simulator 2017, or in short, FS17, or Farm Sim, if you want to call it that. Today we're playing on the American map Goldcrest. We started a new map. This will be my first gameplay series, my first FS series, so don't be harsh. We are playing on normal, so it won't be too hard. Right now I'm getting all my tools to start working. I want to make sure that we go ahead and get that going right away. So as soon as I get these guys working, I'll go ahead and go through all the menus and show you how that works, in case if you are unfamiliar with the FS series. I will direct you guys to a few videos from another YouTuber who is more experienced in the FS series than I am, or more experienced in talking and explaining than I am, and he'll basically talk about all the basics. If my video isn't really that good, so I'll probably have his channel down in the description. His name is Daggerwin. He does mainly, I think, only farm sim videos, and probably, I think, a few other indie games. Anyway, so we are on the American map Goldcrest, and we are on normal difficulty, which means that my prices aren't on easy, which means the prices you see here on my current price menu, they would be doubled right now. And if it was on the hardest mode, everything would be sliced in half. If I was on easier mode, I don't have to pay my workers as much. I don't have to pay for seed and fertilizer as much. Of course, the stuff to pay for them, but if I'm correct, I think they're like slightly cheaper. And if I play on hard, then of course it is the complete opposite. But since I'm on normal, I'm fairly good on the settings. Pardon. I'm doing fairly good. The reason why I'm not doing easy is because, well, of course, it's very easy, and we would get through the series really fast, and I could make easy decisions, because I'd be making money, like, really, really fast, and I thought that would be just a bit too easy. So, why I'm not doing hard is because then it would make every episode just be doing the same thing over and over for, like, 3 videos instead of doing it in a video and a half. So, So I figured normal would be kind of that balance of, it's not easy enough for me to just get through it like nothing, but it's not hard enough for me to struggle. So here we'll go ahead and go back to this one. This is the map overview. This tells you your crop types. This tells you what stage your field is in. This tells you if you need plowing, or if your field is fertilized. I can turn any of these off at any moment. I can turn them back on as well. So if, let's say, if I wanted to know only what fields are growing canola, I can turn off all these other crops except canola. And what happens is it will show me the fields that are only canola. And it's like that for all of them. Here, we keep grass off. There we go. Alright, good. The next menu is the vehicle overview. This tells you how much your vehicle is worth, which can be seen by the prices on the farthest right. And in the one in the middle that has the money sign over it, that is how much the machines cost every single day. So at the end of every single day, or technically in the beginning of every single day at 12 at night, when it switches to the new day, money will be taken out of your account for those vehicles, and also so will loan interest, which is here. Right now, you start out with a loan, depending on your settings, which I have it on normal, it is $75,000. and all these over here that I'm going through basically tell you what you've spent your money on. I can repay, I can borrow more money. The highest amount I can go to is 300,000. In the beginning, I definitely might recommend getting more money, but at the same time, it's also kind of a gamble, if that makes any sense. Here, we'll go to animals. I've not really messed with animals too much, so perhaps I'll actually do animals in this series, and I'll learn how they'll work. I've done sheep a little bit, and they're the easiest. You don't have to give them food. You don't have to give them special kinds of crop. You don't have to. Well, I think that's it. You don't have to give them. You don't have to give them straw. You just give them grass. You give them grass, water, and you clean up their pen every once in a while, and you're good. This is your statistics. This basically tells you everything that you've done in this world. And this is the general settings. This is for everything. So if I was to change something in in these settings, it would change it for all my games. If I was to change it in these settings here, if I was to change anything in the game settings, this would change my settings in the game. So if I wanted traffic off, so I don't have to deal with cars, I can turn it off. If I want traffic on, to add a little bit more realism, I can. Dirt, that is basically how much dirt the tractors get on. Automatic engine start, that is basically if every time I get into a tractor. Pardon. That is, if I have it off, that means every time I get into a tractor, I have to turn it on manually. And the stop, go braking, I'm really not sure what that is. Fuel usage, I can turn it to low or default. Helpers can buy, we'll buy all of these. If let's say, the guy who is doing field 12, Q, that is helper Q, he, they are technically taking money from my account to refill my tools as they are being used. And if I turn that off, and they run out of crop, or they run out of seed or fertilizer, they will stop working, and they won't work until it's refilled. Plant growth, usually I have that on fast. Until the crops are fully grown, then I'll either have it off or I'll keep it on fast, but have my game scale or my time scale in real time. Plant withering is basically the concept. Well, it is basically if I lollygag and I don't actually maintain my crops after they're fully grown, they can rot and I will lose all the profit. Man, I'm having a small coughing fit today. I'll basically lose the money on that field, or the potential money. Periodic plowing, I think after every 3 yields, which so after I throw after I grow 3 crops on this field, I have to plow it. Then fertilizer stages, that is that basically means how many times I run a fertilizer sprayer, manure spreader, slurry spreader on that field. I can run it 3 times on the field, and I get up to 90% more profit. The radishes, here, let me see if I can get to those. This, these crops are basically if I wanted to gain that extra 10% of profit. I don't think they're really worth it for that extra 10%. I mean, I could be wrong. There could be a gain in that, but I mean, I really don't see it. Because I have to pay for a worker. If I have a worker do it, I have to pay for seed if I do it. So I really don't see much of a purpose. I don't know if you guys noticed up in the top right, but there was some orange letters that just notified me that my harvester is full, or near full, about 80%, and that means I have to bring my tipper over and empty, and have the harvester empty into this trailer. What happens when he gets too full is he'll end up stopping and won't do anything until I come over and either dismiss him or I come and collect the crop. We're going to go ahead and just let him continue working while we pick up his crop, or while we take the crop from his tank. Yeah. So I really don't know what else to add on to, or what else to say. Alright, he should be getting near done, cause there's about... We weren't finished. Anyway, we'll go ahead and just let him do his thing. Alright, after I drop this off, I'm going to go ahead and get my pickup, and I'll go ahead and show you some of the things around the map. Alright, here. This is where I drop my stuff off. Over there is where I can sell my bales if I decide to get a baler and put these into convenient bales I can transport. Or, I can transport and carry. Then I'll put them over there and I'll get maximum profit. Here, let's get in the pickup. Also, another thing that I did not mention. The reason why there's a price difference between canola, let's say canola, sunflower, and soy, which are the three after the first two. The reason why they're worth more than the wheat and barley, which are the first two, the reason why there's that price difference is because there is less yield that comes from canola, sunflower, and soy. While if I grow wheat and barley, there's practically double of what there would be in the canola, sunflower, and soy. So basically, the concept is since there's more of this crop, it's worth less, and since there's less of this crop, it's worth more. But I have learned though that actually, all you guys are going to hear is just me coughing, man. So basically, I've noticed though that wheat and barley are worth the most because I can sell the bales, which actually end up making me more money. I think by maybe $2,000 or $3,000. We just passed our chickens. I'll go ahead and show those here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and show you jobs. So basically, here's a field. This is not our field. We cannot work on this field unless if we do a job or buy the field. See, as you can see here, I can either purchase the field or start work on the field, and I will get money for it. In the middle here, it says 16 minutes. That is my time frame, and up here, up there where that money is, that $6,000. That is how much money I will make from doing that job within the time frame. If I don't get it done in the time frame, I won't get anything, and it'll drop me out of it altogether. So anyway, here I'll actually go ahead and do this job, and I'll just fast forward. All right. So of course I can't actually do anything on this field apart from this job. I can't take the crop and claim it as mine. I've tried everything. I am a crook. I like to steal from other farmers. Also, another thing is that there's a bar underneath every single person that you interact with who has a field, and the more work you do for them, the more profit, or the higher that bar gets, and the higher that bar gets, the lower the price of their field gets for you. So in a sense, you can make money while also lowering the price of the field. And I don't know if I actually did the math or not, but I mean, if you think about it, if you work these fields enough times, you actually get enough profit to actually purchase that field. So technically, you never lose any money because you're using that farmer's own money to buy his field for you. The different jobs aren't restricted to just harvesting. I can do other jobs such as cultivating, plowing, sowing, um, fertilizing. I can do all those as long as it's time for that certain job. So of course I wouldn't cultivate a field that hasn't been harvested. I would have to harvest first, then I can jump right into cultivating, so I can do one job after another until I can't anymore. Which would mean that I'd done all the work for that field for now until harvest time. This field that I'm working on and the field over across the road are both by the same guy, so if I was to work both of these fields, I would gain probably enough money to purchase the current field I'm on, and also gain enough respect from him that I can get the lowest possible price. Usually in the beginning I enjoyed doing the jobs because I get extra money for them that I wouldn't get if I was to just sell my crop. My crop. While with these, I'm getting $6,000 to harvest a field that I don't even own. Which, if I'm being honest, I think that's more profitable than what this field would yield. I mean, I'm not going to swear to that, but but for now, I'd rather work the fields and get some extra money than be purchasing a field and getting a bigger loan. So in this first episode, my goal isn't really to really get into things. I just want to kind of go over all the basics for anyone who has not played any of the farm sim games. But I mean, if you have Google or any basic knowledge on farming, like how this is a harvester, then of course you're going to be fine. And if you don't know what a harvester looks like, then I have no words. So my apologies. That's why they invented Google, I guess, to look up what harvesters are. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do a fast forward of this. Oh yeah, also, just to let you know that, I don't have to get all of the crop. I just have to get until that green wheel up there is full within the time frame. So meaning that technically all this little extra stuff isn't really that important. If I have to come back and collect some of it, it's not the end of the world, but it's like that won't affect my end results of me getting profit or not. As long as I have that green bar filled up, which is like you have to get up to 95% of the field finished or something. And we should be finishing up about now. Alright, now I have gained $6,000 plus bonus, so about $8,000, a little over $8,000, about $9,000. Alright, so now if I want to, I can do more work for him by doing this, fertilizing. Then after I fertilize, he would want me to do some plowing, and the same thing for over there. But since this field is not finished, I either can't do anything or I can fertilize. Alright, those workers are probably getting near needing to be handled. Alright, well, the harvester and the cultivator are getting done, are finishing up. The harvester, I think, needs to be emptied, so let's go ahead and assist him. Sorry if there's an audio change. I've changed the position my mic is in. Yep, just like I suspected, my harvester is needing to be emptied. Alright, there we go. Now Now, since he's completely full, he has stopped, and he will continue to stay stopped until the trailer is empty, or the tank is empty. There we go. As you can see, as soon as I get out of the tractor, it turns off. Once I get in, it automatically starts. If I was to have the excuse me again. If I was to have the automatic engine start off, the tractor will continue to stay on until I turn it off. And let's say if I'm away from it for so long, it'll actually turn itself off. And let's say if it's off and I get into it, I can't go anywhere. Here in a second, it will pop up with a message saying you cannot go or something involving you need to start your engine. I don't know if it'll pop up. Huh. Usually it does Benno. Because if I have the automatic engine start off, I'll always forget that it's off. There we go. Alright, so now automatic engine start is on, and we'll go ahead and just keep that on. Just for my own sake and sanity. Because sometimes I'll forget, or it'll be slightly inconvenient. Alright. So as I said before, this episode isn't really anything special. I just want to kind of introduce you to the Farm Sim series and let you get the basic concept of the map. Here in a few episodes, I'm probably going to have a baler, and will be capable of baling all this and putting it over there, which I can sell it then, and we'll be making extra money. I will be doing jobs between videos just so I'll have extra money. Of course, I'll be doing a lot of the boring stuff, such as collecting collecting crops and stuff. If I do anything interesting, it'll probably be stuff that I really don't understand, and we can learn it together. This is a gold nugget. You collect 100 of these, and you get $1 million. After you collect the first 10, you actually get the map to the rest of them, which is good, but at the same time, it just takes a long time to do it. It takes about an hour or two to actually collect all those gold nuggets, which, I mean, in a sense, isn't really that bad for how big the money is and how long it would actually take to make $1 million in the game. But let's say if you're doing a series or something, it's not really one of those things you want to do, either because it's not much of an interesting video, or because in a sense it's kind of like a cheat. But I mean, I guess it's convenient and fun. Oh, and I missed my turn altogether. Man, that turn. Can we fix this? No? Oh, crap. Oh, can we do it? Yes. Alright, sweet. Okay. Now let's go ahead and be careful and make that turn. I kind of like this tipper, trailer, whatever, because you can do really sharp turns with it, because it turns in two positions. It turns from the tractor, and it also turns from the tipper itself. On one side, I like it because of those, because of its turning radius has been enlarged, or it's more easier to turn. But at the same time, it's a pain in the butt to actually back up. You have to be an expert to actually back those up. So in the next episode, we'll be doing some tool buying. I'm probably going to be selling all of these tools because they suck. They cost a lot of money to maintain every single day. And of course, I know what you're thinking, Jeremiah, you don't have money for it. Well, between the episodes, I'm going to go ahead and actually sell all these crops. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of them all to the highest place. It'll take a little bit, but I mean, it'll be worth it in the end. Then then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go into the shop, and I'll purchase tools that are better, such as this. This is the Massey Ferguson 27. I don't know if it's based on a real one, but I know it's a Massey Ferguson. It's cheaper and it's better. As you can tell by this, this holds a grain of 8,600, while the one I currently have holds a grain of only 6,300. So of course that's better, and plus it's cheaper, and it's cheaper to maintain. Why my harvester now is near $2,000 to run. The Massey Ferguson harvester is only $55 to run. And these are mods. These are actually in the game. The people who made the game approved of these. These are in the mod menu. Perhaps someday I'll show you the interface of the game. I just really don't like the interface for recording wise because it's kind of loud. So I might cut out the audio on those. Also, I found a tractor that's cheaper too. Here is the current tractors we have. We have 2 of these, and they cost a lot daily. Even a brand new one is quite expensive. So those are, I think, 101 kW. I don't know the horsepower. I think it's 140 horsepower. While this tractor right here, the one I'm currently on, yep, the one that starts with an H, don't know how to pronounce it, it's the 1500, is $130 daily maintenance, and of course that'll go up as the machine gets older. It's cheaper, and it's slightly stronger by 10 horsepower. I'm going to be trying my best to reduce my maintenance prices as much as possible. I'm trying to think of what else that I'm probably missing. If I forget anything, then I'll discuss it in a video when we're actually dealing with that thing, such as maybe the gold nuggets, because I know where a lot of the gold nuggets are, and we could do it in this episode, but I'm trying to make sure these episodes are only about 30 to 40 minutes long. Here, we'll go ahead and show you the shop. This is where all of my stuff, all of my tractors and stuff will be if I was to purchase it. If I purchase it, it'll show up here, and I have to drive it all the way up to my farm. If I want to sell a vehicle at the shop instead of through my garage, here in the menus, I can drive it to here, and I can sell it right here. The reason why I would want to be driven to sell it here is because you get more money from selling at this point. It's usually only like $2,000 or $3,000 more, or like it's probably only a 10% or maybe a 5% more range. But I mean, in the end, if you're struggling to keep money in the game, sometimes getting the extra money helps a lot. It definitely does add up. So this kind of sums up the first and hopefully well, not interactive, but hopefully slightly informational. Here, we'll go ahead and move my cultivator over to this field. Since the harvester is finished, this guy can go ahead and can go ahead and work this field. Then once helper Q is done, he can start working on 14, which is this one. So yeah, I want to thank you for watching the video. Hopefully all of my stuff works, because I've had many problems with recording, whether the audio cuts out or I don't have my mic on, which I did last time. I've probably recorded videos similar to this so many times. I've described the same things over so many times. So, I mean, I'm just hoping it works. If it works, then you'll know because obviously you'll be watching this version. If not, then you'll you won't. This won't even matter. So yeah, if you have any ideas for what games I should play, if you play the FS series, then go ahead and let me know what I should do. Or I mean, if you don't, tell me. Perhaps you want me to buy certain fields or buy certain kinds of animals. I don't know. It's up to you. But yeah, I think that'll be it. I want to thank you guys, and actually, here, before we leave, we'll go ahead and save it, and we'll go ahead and name our world. Actually, I know I keep bouncing between what I should call a world and not, but how about this? How about I leave that in how about I leave that in the comments? Let other people decide what the name of the world should be. And nothing bad. If it's bad, I'm not taking it. I will refuse. Nah, I'll probably take it. I mean, if it's funny, I'll take it.